Welcome to the Strategic Guidance lesson. Click Next to get started. On December 7, 1941, the Empire of Japan attacked Pearl Harbor on the Hawaiian island, Oahu. The following day, President Roosevelt addressed Congress, stating that the national security of the U.S. had been violated. In response to Japanese aggression, the U.S. declared war on the Empire of Japan, and on Germany and Italy 3 days later. The U.S. had officially entered World War II. President Roosevelt saw immediate need for a U.S. defense strategy. He called for a massive industrial push for military equipment. Planning, resourcing, and allocation led to the U.S. production of planes, tanks, ships, and anti-aircraft guns over the next 2 years. Initial U.S. involvement in World War II focused on the Pacific. In June 1942, the Battle of Midway marked the beginning of the naval campaign across the Pacific to regain Japanese-occupied islands. Almost 2 years after the attack on Pearl Harbor, the U.S. military strategy for an invasion of Europe using land forces began to build. The U.S. Army Air Corps joined British bombers in Operation Point Blank. The 8th Air Force B-17s aimed to destroy strategic German targets. Near-term capabilities saw the need for bomber protection, resulting in mass production on the new P-51 Mustang. With the Pacific battle raging and the U.S. Army Air Corps engaged, the U.S. developed Operation Overlord with its allied partners to invade German-occupied Western Europe. Beginning on June 6, 1944, the first phase, Operation Neptune, also known as D-Day, began the U.S. assault on the beaches of Normandy, France. Moving through France, the bloodiest battle for U.S. forces in World War II occurred in the densely forested Ardennes region on the Western Front. Victory in the Battle of the Bulge set the stage for Allied advancement into Germany. Crossing the Rhine River in March 1945 ended the Third Reich and the war in Europe. The unconditional surrender of all German forces on May 7, 1945, marked the official end of the war in Europe. General Eisenhower, the supreme Allied commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, achieved victory. Following World War II, many lessons learned emerged. A unified command plan was assigned by President Truman in 1946, ensuring various geographical territories across the globe had standing forces assigned to them, as well as commanders to lead them. Also, the absolute need for air superiority led to a separate service branch forming in 1947, the U.S. Air Force. It is important to understand the national strategies which address major security concerns to the U.S. These strategies begin at the strategic level and filter down through the operational and tactical levels of war. As seen in a brief overview of World War II, strategic guidance begins with the President, guides a defense strategy, and establishes a military strategy to achieve various end states objectives. This lesson will assist you in understanding the progression of strategic guidance from the President to the U.S. Air Force. As an Air Force Forces AFOR staff officer, you will assist the combatant commander in implementing the priorities developed from the strategic guidance, which will ultimately execute missions that achieve desired end states, such as countering transnational organized crime, implementing humanitarian assistance, disaster relief efforts, and responding to contingency operations such as Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Odyssey Dawn.
As the AFOR and hopefully the JFAC, I hope to be dual-hatted as the AFOR and the JFAC, I need strategic guidance from my JFC, from the Secretary of Defense, from the President of the United States. In terms of purpose, what is the purpose of this operation strategically, and what is the end state of this operation strategically? With those two elements of commander's intent clear in my mind, I can craft my plan very, very cleanly, because my staff and I are focused on our understanding of the strategic elements of the operation we're about to conduct. So strategic guidance, absolutely key. I can produce a plan without strategic guidance, but I run the risk of it not being the right plan and having a course of action. It's not the right course of action.
The objective of this lesson is to describe the hierarchy and relationship of strategic documents relevant to the Air Force Forces, AFOR, Staff Officer. AFOR staff tasks addressed in this lesson include the following. The overarching document that guides all national military decisions is the National Security Strategy, NSS. Issued by the President of the United States, the NSS is the cornerstone document that gives broad guidance to the military. For more information, click each button. The NSS is a comprehensive report prepared by the executive branch of the government. The NSS outlines major national security concerns, integrates instruments of national power, and directs national security policy. For more information on the principles of the NSS, click each button. The NSS is purposely general in content, and its implementation relies on elaborating guidance provided in supporting documents such as the Defense Strategic Guidance, DSG, the Guidance for Employment of the Force, GEF, and the National Military Strategy, NMS. Force and program decisions made by the Department of Defense, DoD, will be made in accordance with the strategic approach described in the NSS.
Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate and of the House of Representatives, yesterday